dare do that.
Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly, presented by Whiskerware Apparel. Along with Chuck Davison, I'm Lyle Stokes, and tonight we have a spouses show. This will be the first ever spouses show. We have Amanda Morris, we have Jamie Mathena, and we have Larry Muse's wife, Joyce, with us on the show tonight. Chuck, what do you think's going to happen tonight? Everybody going to talk about how? I hope they tell us where they're catching all their fish.
Yeah, I hope I can get some of these secrets out of them that their husbands don't tell. What I want to know.
They don't share the secrets with us, guys. I got news for you.
Mine does.
Well, this ought to be a lot of fun, and we're really excited to have you ladies on the show with us tonight. We've been kind of planning this for some time, and getting all three of you on here at once is a pretty good deal to have everybody on here. And you know, I've got some questions for you. I know Chuck has got some questions for you, and we'll be having some people, I'm sure, type in some questions in the chat, and we'll go through them as quickly as we can. But, you know, thank you guys for being on the show with us. And with that, Chuck, are you ready to get started?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Heck
yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right, Jamie. When you go out fishing with Big Cat, what's your favorite place to go fishing with him at?
Wherever the fish are biting. Wherever I can catch them. Usually we'll hit the Missouri or the Mississippi, you know, check along the dikes and whatnot, but he's got many places. He's very river savvy, so if they're not biting in one spot, he's always got something up his sleeve to try something else.
Great. Do you help him cut the bait and stuff like that?
Yes, I do. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty at all.
Do you have some special cuts that you like doing that you think the fish like better than ways that he cut it up?
No, he does a pretty good job. He taught me how to cut the bait. I'd never fished with, you know, live bait before. It was always worms in the past. And then, you know, when I started fishing with him, he uses the live stuff. So he showed me how to cut it, and it works. We've caught some nice big ones.
Great. So what's your biggest blue cat?
A 54-pounder.
Wow, that's a monster.
Yeah.
Where'd you catch him at?
The very first big catfish I caught was many years ago in a little bitty tiny John boat that I'm surprised we didn't get pulled completely under the water with. We had to pull anchor. I was reeling on that fish for about 30 minutes, and it was a 47-pound blue. I was hooked after that. Going out on that river trying to catch the big ones, oh, I loved it.
But when he goes out of town, you don't get to go on a whole lot of trips with him, do you?
I don't, but a lot of that is my choice. Him and his mom, you know, they're a good team, and she taught him everything that he knows on fishing, and they've always had a good relationship, but once they started fishing together, their relationship just became so more rock solid. They talk more often. You know, they spend more time together, and I kind of stay back. I do the prep work to get them ready, and, you know, like Lyle said, you know, help get the applications and the tournament fees in, and this is their thing. I kind of just sit back and support them from home, taking care of that stuff, and I let this be their thing.
How hard is it for you to wait to see what the results are till after weigh-in? Are you sending them messages ahead of time saying, hey, do y'all got anything in the boat yet, or anything like that during the tournament?
Yes. I used to be really bad at it, like once an hour, call and text, and then I'd get like frustrated when I wouldn't hear from them. But I'm sitting at home, so I'm thinking they have, you know, time to check their phone, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're busy, you know, putting new bait on, or checking, going different spots, or hopefully, you know, bringing in the fish. And so I don't. I wait. I do it every couple hours, and then normally I know when the weigh-in is going to be over, and then within an hour of the weigh-in being over, then that's when I start really blowing their phones up.
But what's the biggest things that you do to help prepare them for the tournaments?
A lot of times I fill out the applications and I send the checks in. I help Jason get bait. I pack all of his clothes. I get all of his fishing gear together. And if they're taking his truck, I have to clean up all the mess that he leaves in it. So Vicky actually has room to sit in there.
Does he have any superstitions or any type of lucky clothing that he makes sure you pack for the tournaments?
Usually I pack like Thin Mint candies or York peppermint patties. Those are his favorite, and normally it keeps him happy to eat those. I don't know if you would say that's necessarily a superstition thing, but yeah, he likes having those with him on his trips.
So he don't have any type of lucky boxer shorts or anything like that he makes sure.
No,
You
thank
must have
God.
some, Chuck.
No.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go on to Amanda. How you doing, Amanda?
Pretty good, Chuck. How are you tonight? Thanks for having me on your show.
Great. So where's your favorite places to go fish with Coral?
Our favorite place is Wheeler or Wilson Lake in Alabama.
I heard that. I was there this weekend. So y'all try to get down at least a few times a year?
At least.
Okay. So how many tournaments do you get to get to travel with him on when he's traveling around?
Not as many now as I used to. I stay home a lot more. I take care of my mother as well, so that makes it hard to travel. But I'm lucky that I get to go with him and pre-fish a lot. So I still get to go to the places, see the places, just not to the actual tournaments as much as I'd like to.
So with his new company booming, are you staying a lot busier than you were just supporting him on the tournament fishing?
We stay busy nonstop. We have a really, really busy schedule.
I bet his new company is going to be doing pretty good, and I bet it's going to be hectic when these guys start calling and wanting bait, um, because sometimes it's so hard to get, and y'all probably going to be getting calls all hours of the night, texts and messages wanting to know about bait. So get ready for that one.
I'm not involved in that really, so I'm not the person to ask on that one. So the landscaping business keeps me busy enough.
Okay, but what's your personal best blue?
42 pounds.
Awesome, that's a good one. Where'd you get it at?
Um, Wheeler Lake.
Whaler Lake. All right.
You broke up, Chuck.
Have you caught any big ones out of Wilson Lake?
Myself, no. The guys have caught quite a few, so Wilson and Wheeler are their two favorites. They haven't fished Pickwick a whole lot, but they fish those two frequently.
Okay, well, where's your favorite place to stay when you go down to Wheeler?
Wheeler Cabins.
You love the cabins, huh?
Yes, I do.
Oh, they're very nice.
I like to have a cabin. It's one of the deals that when I get to travel with him, we get one of the cabins on the water. When he and his fishing partner are traveling, I stick them in the in cabins, the inside cabins.
Great. Well, what's the most important things that you do that you think helps him out the most preparing for these tournaments?
Patience, understanding, putting up with the iPad during dinner while he's researching his water and anywhere and everywhere we go.
Well, that's very important when you're trying to get paid back for the money you're investing. So every little bit you study pays off, hopefully.
But I also do all the tournament registrations, hotel registrations, packing, making sure he's ready to go. Kind of a double check method for him. You know, when we've got packing and unpacking the truck and boat down to a science, let me tell you.
So scheduling is very important um, on all this.
Oh, schedule's very important. Yeah. Like I said,
Yeah.
we keep a pretty busy schedule, so we to get things lined out and him ready to go and things taken care of here at home and with our landscaping business and then back again. Yeah, scheduling is very important.
Does he have any kind of superstitions or lucky clothings and stuff like that?
Yes, he does have lucky clothing that has to be packed.
So what
He
are
has
those lucky clothes you got?
he's got a specific shirt and a specific pair of pants that he wears on tournament day.
Awesome. What about those sandals? I gotta get me some because I know they catch some fish.
Well, those sandals, he's got to have his sandals. He's known for his sandals, but it depends on the weather whether or not the sandals get worn during tournament day.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't want to have them on that winter blues.
Oh, he has.
Oh yeah, he has. You was with him. Was you with him this year at Winter Blues?
Yes, I was.
You was. I wasn't there on Saturday. I seen you last year taking lots and lots of pictures.
I'm known
Um,
for taking pictures. Everybody, just about everybody in the tournament circle, says, "Oh, Amanda, can you send me the picture of?" Yeah, I like to take pictures. He teases me that I treat his fish like Vogue models.
well, that's awesome. It's very important to have those memories and have them on, digital. It's digital. It's so great now being able to keep stuff on computer instead of having loads and loads of albums. And it's just so great. I know all my cameras and phones are just so loaded up. I don't even know how to organize them.
Yeah, that's a wintertime project one year when it doesn't snow. I'd love to get all my photos organized. So I hear you there, Chuck.
Okay, I'm gonna get on to Joyce now. How you doing, Joyce?
Doing fine. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. We've been waiting to get y'all on, and I know this is gonna be a great show. We got a load of people in chat right now. Um, so, where's your favorite place to go fishing with Larry?
Well, I don't fish that much. The last time I was on the boat with him, I injured my neck, and so I hadn't been back on.
Yeah, I mean, just
The fear of water.
yeah, the traveling around and getting to go, seeing places and shopping in different cities and the scenery and everything. Where's your favorite places to go when he's traveling around?
Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, you love Virginia, huh?
It is beautiful.
But what lake do y'all go to when y'all go out there?
It's on the James River.
James River. Yes, I had one on my bucket list. I haven't been able to make it yet, but yeah, I seen y'all went out last year to the hourly event, and that's always great. And you work most all of the Bass Pro Shop tourneys.
Yes.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
seen you quite a few. Do you get to work them all, or is there just a selected few? Or
No, I've been working on them since I think '05, and I missed two during that time.
wow, that's awesome.
My mom was very sick, and I missed when she was sick. And then last year, when I broke my kneecap, I of course couldn't go.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So you've probably made more tournaments than Larry has on that circuit.
I have. He's missed a couple more.
Okay, that's
Uh,
great. That is outstanding right there. Um, so when you was fishing with him, what was your personal best blue?
oh gosh, not that big. I think it was like 26 pounds.
That's still a trophy blue. That's a very nice fish. Most people have never caught one that big in their life.
I was proud of it.
I bet you are. That is a trophy fish right there. Yeah, I consider anything over 25 pounds a trophy
Yes.
on the catfish, and um, so you've got a trophy fish, and there's people probably watching this show that haven't been able to reach that milestone yet. Um, so Larry's got a very, very good competitive spirit about him. How much do you have to do with that competitive spirit that he's got?
Well, I try to support him in anything he's done. We used to do archery tournaments, and I supported him in that and shot archery with him, which was fun. But this tournament trail is really, I really enjoy it. I enjoy meeting all the anglers. There's some wonderful anglers out there and their wives, and I just try to be there, and support him in what he likes to do.
Yeah, is this the best? I call it a community. The group of catfishermen that we routinely, get to interact with. Is this one of the best groups of people that you've been around in the different types of things that y'all have done through your life?
Oh yes, I think so. I think so. Most all of them. Anybody you meet is so positive and everything. And just like the Catfish Conference last weekend, weekend before, I really enjoyed that because there were so many people. We met from Arizona and from New Mexico and even from New York. And, when you can bring that many people together that are just for one purpose, it's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's great. Going, every once in a while when a team don't catch no fish and that they've got to hurry and get home and get to work, they'll pull their boat straight out of the water and head out. But, most of the time everybody stays and watches the whole way in. And, I did a lot of bass fishing back in the early 90s and stuff. And, a lot of the guys, when they would pull their boat out and they didn't have no fish, they would have attitudes, and they would just hook that boat up and they would just keep going. They wouldn't even hang around to see who won or anything. And it's just so great being around these weigh-ins. And even if I can't make the tournaments, I try to get there just to be around that weigh-in atmosphere because you just learn so much talking to everybody and, just being around everybody. It's such a great atmosphere.
Exactly. And, I've seen a lot of people, like you said, if they don't have fish, they're down and out. And the ones that have caught fish will go over and tell them, hey, look, we have bad days too. Any good fisherman will tell you that. They don't always have good days.
Yeah, right. All the guys seem to help each other as long as everybody's straight with each other and, gets the right input. Nobody likes somebody not shooting straight with them, especially if they're shooting straight with them. And as long as everybody's a straight shooter, they're going to be able to get all the help that they can get.
That's right, they are.
Yes, and I've seen that. I've been pat on the back plenty of times, and it just makes me feel so good getting out with these guys and just being able to get out there and fish with them, and the support they give me is great. So tell me about some lucky things that Larry's got to have with him. Is he a little bit superstitious?
Well, one thing. The first tournament that he won, I think, with his brother, we had stopped to get ice cream at right outside of Birmingham, and they mixed up. Larry ordered a quart of vanilla, and his brother ordered a pint of chocolate. Well, they did it right the opposite, so they both ended up with a quart to eat, and they won the tournament. And they said it must be a ice cream thing. So he makes sure he eats plenty of ice cream before the tournament. Whether that's, but as far as clothes, no, he doesn't have any lucky clothes or anything like that.
Okay, so he don't have any other kind of superstitious type things that that he thinks may help him in the tournaments, except having Jesus Christ in the boat with him every day.
Say a prayer before you go out.
I heard that. That helps big time.
Him and all of the fishermen when they leave that morning.
Oh, great. All right, Joyce, that's been great talking to you. I'm going to pass y'all off to Lyle. I'm sure he's got a ton, and there's guys on the chat, and they're asking all kind of questions. So, all right, Lyle, they're all yours.
All right.
Thank you, Chuck.
Hey, Lyle.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, if ice cream is the key to winning the tournament, if you have a tournament that you're going to down in the St. Louis area, go to Bobby's Frozen Custard.
Heck yeah.
Guaranteed win.
Yeah, I'm all over that. In case you hadn't noticed, I don't miss too much ice cream.
Yeah, best custard this side of the Mississippi. Right there in Maryville, Illinois, I'll tell you what.
I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Jamie, you know, I've known Jason and Vicky for a long time, but I've never ever met you, and a lot of that is because you stay home and take care of the house and the kids and all the stuff, while Jason and Vicky are going to these events. At some point down the road, do you feel like you'll be able to go to some of these events with them?
I would love to. I really would. I enjoy fishing. I was definitely blessed with the best mother-in-law on the planet. Um, I enjoy me and Jason whenever he's pre-fishing or it's just a nice day. We try to get out on the boat. And even if I have, stuff that I'm doing with the kids, there's been times where he'd leave at 5 in the morning and then I'd meet him somewhere along the banks at like 10, fish with him for a couple hours, and then he'd take me back to the bank so I can finish doing my errands or whatever it is I need to do. So I would love to, but we'll wait and see. Like I said earlier, I don't want to step on their toes. It's a beautiful thing that they have going. The fact that they're mother son and fishing these tournaments, and it's crazy how well known they are. And and the thing is they're so grounded and level-headed about the whole thing. Like, it shocks them that, what, we're in Indiana and somebody knows who I am, or what, we're hundreds of miles from home and somebody's yelling my name across the parking lot. So it's a cool thing. I would really love to be part of it one day.
Well, that's outstanding. I would agree with you to the fact that your mother-in-law is one of the sweetest and nicest ladies that's ever been on this earth. She's just a wonderful lady, and I can't think of anybody that's ever had anything but the greatest things to say about her. And I had the pleasure of being in the boat with her last year at a tournament, and we didn't do too good at the tournament. I'm telling you, I had so much fun. If we hadn't caught anything, it'd have been okay.
Yeah.
She just really had a lot of fun, and I know right now is a tough time on Jason, and I want to ask you a question about that, because he's having to work a lot of time, and I know that he's missed some tournaments due to that. And him and I've talked about it, and good jobs are extremely hard to come by. And I told him, I said, the fishing will always be there, but if something happens to your job, you can't stand that. So my question is, how much does the fact that he's missing a few tournaments now, having to work all the time, how does that bother him a whole lot?
It does. It's not so much about missing. It is about missing fishing itself and being out there with his mom. Because, like Chuck was saying earlier, how guys get so upset when they don't catch a fish and they leave the tournament as soon as they pull their boat out. That's not what Jason and Vicky is about. I mean, they're just about the beauty of being out on the water and the calmness and serene that it brings to somebody. And I can, relate because I'm an outdoors person. I feel the same way when I'm out there. So it's more about that's his unwind time. That's his, time to just sit back and relax. And so it's not so much about the tournaments itself. It's just, fishing. He just loves being out on the water. And if he can steal a few hours in between working a midnight shift and a day shift, even though I haven't seen him in 7 days, I tell him to go, because, a happy husband makes a happy wife, which makes a happy life, right?
There you go.
I was fortunate yesterday. Saturday was a tournament in St. Louis, and Vicky showed up there, and it was a lot of fun seeing her. She didn't fish the tournament, but she was there. And I actually got to see Jason. He took a ride in Ken Pryor's boat, and they was out on the water for just a while, and I got to see him. But I didn't really visit Jason much, but it was good to know that he's working and can't make every tournament, that they still come to the shows. They show up at the tournament and support everybody that's there, and that's the difference with a lot of the anglers with other tournament stuff versus what we have going on in catfishing.
Yeah, he was a little bummed that he didn't get to go to that tournament, but he was pretty excited to see all the fishermen off. And I mean, it cut into his sleep. He only got probably about 4 hours sleep before he had to turn around and do another 12-hour shift. But it was worth it to him. It's like a big family,
Right.
and you don't always get to see your family. And if you get a chance to even go, catch up for an hour, it's worth it to him. And that's what he did.
I completely understand. Amanda, you
Yes,
guys
sir.
go to a lot of tournaments in a lot of different areas, and I know you do a lot of photography work. Is there anything else that you do to help with the tournaments, with directors and stuff, to help them get things done?
I've pitched in on other items over the years, if there was some audio problems or they were short staffed. I've always offered to help. I'm not an idle person. Carl and I are very much alike like that. So if there's a way I can help, I always will. I mean, set up, take down, just like at the Catfish conference, which was an absolutely fantastic event. My hat goes off to Steve Douglas and Jim Jones or Jeff Jones for that conference. It was fantastic. But David Asbury had a little issue tearing down his booth. We chipped in and helped. Any way we can help, we're always there.
Right, and that was my next question. I was going to ask you about the conference. I believe that was one of the best put together, well-run events in catfishing, and I've seen it a long time. And they've done it in like a 2-month period. It's amazing to have that go off as smooth and flawless as it did, and no arguments, nobody beating around the bush during the event. It was just very well organized, very well run, and I believe that will be a lot bigger thing for next year and for years to come.
Oh, I sure hope so, because to be able to get everybody, together like that, the benefit of the networking, it's like Carl has said numerous times over the years, just the information you get from one another. I know Chuck talked about people not catching fish and heading home and not going to the weigh-in. And I understand there's times that, I'm sure there's circumstances that people have to do that. But, regardless of whether or not, Carl has a fish, or if he only has a 1 pound fish, he'll still weigh it in. We still stay at the weigh-ins, go to give everybody else support, and to be able to talk to people. That networking benefit, is unmeasurable.
I agree. We didn't have a very good day at the tournament over the weekend. We actually had a guy drive in from Indiana to fish that with us. We've gone 3 or 4 days down there, and it didn't work out for us. But we stayed till the last dog left nearly, and visited with everybody and congratulated all the people that won. We have a really good time at so many of the tournaments, and of course, Monsters. We talk about Monsters on the Ohio a lot, but it's one of the most fun places we go. And I know I see you there every year, so I know that you know what we're talking about. And
Now, that's a tournament that I am involved in with Aaron, and I mean, he does a fantastic job. And the network of volunteers that he has been able to put together over the years to help him with that tournament, they do an absolutely wonderful job, and that tournament just grows every year. And I'm very proud to be a part of it.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that Wheeler is coming on. The Winter Blues on Wheeler tournament is another one that is jumping up there to say it's something that everybody wants to go to every year. And like Monsters, once you go, you got to keep going. You can't stop going. You got to keep going every year. Just if nothing else, you want to see everybody. And
Yes.
I look for the Mississippi River Monster tournament to be that way. Are you guys excited about that?
Oh, we're very excited about that. So that was a hot topic as it was building and registration was coming. So that is one tournament I will be at and am looking forward to.
Oh, me too. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't hardly wait. And um, Is there ever a point in time where you think that you'll fish tournaments with Carl?
Oh, that has been a topic over some years. Um, Carl has fished with both the boys, and his current friend Rob, very good friend. And I've teased him over the years. Let me fish. Some tournaments. I fished some smaller tournaments with him. Um, Smaller organizations, but I don't know how. I've actually fished a Cabela's tournament with him once, but my level of fishing isn't quite serious enough for the tournament circuit. So my idea of fishing is put the pole in the water, read my book a little bit, glance over at it, and so not quite serious enough right now.
Well, I'm thinking that when Carl's in his got his game face on, he's not looking at no book.
No, he is not. He's looking at his iPad weeks prior to a tournament. I mean, he prepares. He actually lays out his tournaments over the winter and starts preparing for them.
Right.
So, no, there is no goofing off on the boat when you're on it with Carl.
Well, and that's one of the many reasons why he's successful. I understand that, and I know you do, and that's what makes Carl Morse. He's ready to go every time he crawls in that boat. He knows that everything's where it should be and like it should be, and he's made the best game plan that he can put together for himself, and he's very successful with that. How much of the planning and getting ready do you do other than just entry fees and getting him in the truck and sending him off?
Um,
Do
well,
you
I
do
mean, I
anything
help.
with the boat preparation or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as loading the boat, getting bait, I've helped him get bait before, making sure that all of the necessary, whether or not it be batteries, nets, depth finders. Like I said, we've got loading and unloading the boat down to a science. We can pretty much do it in under probably 20-25 minutes. We've got it down to a science. We've got kind of like a checklist that we know goes into that boat, goes into that truck. I help him with, loading and unloading, depending on whether or not, I'm going with him. That makes a difference. Preparing the night before to make sure he's ready. Because like I said, especially during the tournaments in the springtime, that's our busy season in landscaping. So every minute counts. And
Right.
just having a process to, utilize every minute.
Right, right, and I understand how that is because it is your busy time. He was been busy this winter too, though.
It's been a busy year. Last year was a busy year. We
That's
were
good.
talking in the fall, there just didn't seem to be any breaks. So,
Right,
but we're able to steal away here and there. He's pretty good about that. When
that's
we get
good.
free fishing and relaxing a little bit.
That's outstanding. All right, Joyce, do you
Yes,
uh, do you help Larry prepare his game plan? Do you help him with the boat, or does he do all that by himself?
he does most of it by himself. I'll go out if he needs somebody to help him, hand him something, or like when he's washing the boat or something. But and I help him put up skipjack when he goes and gets them. I'll
Well,
have to come
you
back.
help
I
him.
call him, but I haven't in several years.
Right, right. Well, I know you've had some knee issues yourself, and a very familiar subject around our house. But uh, when Larry's getting ready to go, I know he's pretty serious about his fishing. Is he irritable, or is he the same Larry every time, every day, whether he's fishing or not?
If it's a new place that we're going to, he gets real uptight about it, and especially after he pre-fishes, if he don't see any fish, he won't sleep much that night. He'll worry about it all night long, and he just, if he's been there before, he feels more confident. But We're going to some new places this year, so I look for the irritable.
I think they all get
How,
irritable from time to time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How far north do you guys venture out in your tournaments that you attend?
Well, we have been to Iowa, and Virginia is about as far north as we go. And
That's a pretty good trip. Iowa's a long way for you.
yes, it is.
Now,
Very long.
was you fishing the rivers up there?
It was the Mississippi River.
Yeah, up in Iowa. How far up did you go? Do you remember?
Uh, Dubuque.
Oh man, you was in Channel Cat country up there.
Yes. Larry hates channel cats.
They're so much fun, and you catch so many of them up there from say north of Keokuk, like Burlington and places like that. They it's nothing to catch 30 or 40 of them a day up there, and they got some good channel cat. They're not like catching 100-pound blues, but
No.
they're a lot of fun, and we enjoy those tournaments too. Larry's equipment, he's pretty particular about his equipment. Do you help him keep them ready to go, or if he needs to put line on one or anything, do you assist him in any of that?
Yes, I do.
I couldn't imagine you not doing that. Now, I'm sure that he ties his own rigs up. Larry had told me something, and I'm going to share this with you. I don't know if he's there or not. I'm sure that he is, but I'm going to tell you anyhow. When Larry was on our show, Larry told us that when he ties his rigs, he always uses 7 wraps on his rigs.
Yes.
It's a biblical thing, and a lot of people don't know this, but my grandfather was a Baptist minister his whole life and very hardcore at that. And I know that doesn't reflect very well towards me because I didn't pay a lot of attention, but I never knew the 7-time thing. And ever since that he had said that, I went from going 8 to 10 wraps on everything I tie to 7, and I don't know if it'll make a difference, but it sure won't hurt, and that was something that really stuck with me, and I hope that everybody's listened to all that stuff because a lot of the things he talked about not only relates to fishing, it relates to life, and it'd be good for everybody to pay a little attention to some of those things.
That's right. At the Catfish Conference, he had a guy come up and tell him that every time he ties his rig up, he remembers that, and it makes him think of God, and if he can change one life out there, it's all worth it.
And I agree so much. Jamie, Jason is very laid back person.
Yes, he is.
He's just as calm and easygoing, and I've seen him upset, but it takes quite a bit to upset him. If he's getting ready to go, and I know the answer to this, but if he's getting ready to go and he has truck trouble or boat trouble or something goes wrong, is he kind of upset?
Yeah, he gets upset.
I can tell that Jason would be more upset about that than not getting to go, than getting to go and here, what was it, last year before, he was loading his boat after a tournament and the transmission went out on the boat ramp. Now, he was disappointed, but he wasn't mad about that.
Right.
That happened. It's just something. But if that had happened at your house, he'd have been pretty upset, wouldn't he?
He probably would have been the same reaction, the boat ramp or the house. It doesn't really matter where it happens. It's just the fact that it happens. But even with something like that happening, and I've been with Jason for 17 years, and I've never, it takes a lot to get him like super. I've never seen him. I've never seen him so angry that he's, fire coming out his ears or whatnot. But yeah, that's one thing that'll get him.
Well,
is if his equipment, breaks, or for a while there he was on a roll. It was his, trouble with his motor, trouble with the key start, trouble with the trailer.
Yeah.
Every time he fixes one thing, thinking that he gets a step ahead. He always gets 2 steps back. He has bad luck when it comes to that, I'll tell you.
He has bad luck with that truck there for a while. I mean, every time I'd see him, he was having issues with it, one thing after another, and
well, we got him a new one.
I'm very happy about that.
Silverado, four-wheel drive, so he should be good now.
Now, he has a very good friend that helps him with a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Dwayne.
Yes.
Dwayne has they've known each other since they was kids. Is that right?
Yes, Dwayne is more like a brother to him.
That's what they've both told me that. Now,
yeah,
they fish some together, but they don't fish just abundance together, do they?
I mean, fun fishing if they're just going out there. If their schedules match up, then they'll fish together. But like tournament stuff, not so much. And it's more so because of Jason and Vicky are a good team, and nobody wants to step on their toes in that aspect. But I know Dwayne's joined them on a few of the tournament trails, and even if Dwayne doesn't have time to spend the whole day fishing, he'll come out and help Jason get bait. He'll throw that net just as hard, as need be to help Jason get bait. He's definitely been Jason's right-hand man through a lot of issues that Jason's dealt with, trucks breaking down or boats breaking down. I mean, that man knows about a lot, let me tell you.
Yeah.
He's definitely a good one to have on your side.
He's just a good guy, and Jason, I know that either one of them would do anything for the other, and that's what makes that work out so well.
Absolutely.
Amanda, how long do you think Carl's going to be before he's ready to fish for a living down at Wheeler? I know he had told me that's
yesterday. If he had his way, but that's a ways off yet.
Well, he had mentioned the fact that when he retires that he'd like to go down there and live and maybe do a little guided or something. I assume that you were on the same wavelength with that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that is our retirement plan, but unfortunately we're quite a few years away from that. So
I understand.
We do. We are making plans and steps towards it, so when we're ready, it'll be an easy transition, but that, like I said, that's quite a few years off. And I guess one of the things I would say that I do to support him as far as planning for trips is I let him bounce ideas off of me. Show me his iPad, show me the areas that he's targeting, giving back some feedback on it. That is one of the things, always bouncing ideas off and listening.
So he takes what you tell him to heart.
Sometimes. I won't say all the time, but yes, sometimes.
Joyce, does Larry ask you those questions? Have you looked at places on maps and different areas that he's going to fish and run any of that stuff by you to get your opinion?
No, he's never done that. I guess he figures I don't know enough.
Well, I don't know. I would assume the fact that you don't fish as much with him maybe has something to do with that.
That's right.
So, Jamie, does Jason run any of that by you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He likes to talk things out and, talk to me or talk to Mom about it. But, yeah, he doesn't always listen. But, he
Right.
knows the river better than I do. But, yeah, he'll roll, some things off.
That's awesome. That's awesome. From a man's point of view, you can run stuff by someone else, and who better to run it by than someone that they're familiar with as they are you ladies. So they know, as I do, that I'm going to get an honest opinion. It might not be what I want to hear, and it might not be what they want to hear, but
right.
It's your honest evaluation of the situation, no matter what it is. If they ask you about it, they want to know how you feel about it, and it's great that you all give them guys that kind of stuff. Chuck, have you got anything else for the ladies tonight?
No, I done covered it about all.
That covered about all of it. Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. Let's start with Joyce. And Joyce, if you have any thing that you would like to mention about the show or about helping Larry or anything like that, or anybody that you'd like to thank for you guys' input on fishing or anything else, and then we'll go from you to Amanda and then on to Jamie, and you guys can just talk about stuff. And if you want to say something about something that we've overlooked that needs to be said, just help yourself.
Or anything that might, if other anglers' wives are watching, that may, can help them out, with their husbands and helping them out, going to tournaments and stuff like that also would help.
The only thing that I can think of would be to always try to support your husband in what he does, because Larry and I have been married 37 years, be 38 this year.
Congratulations, Joyce and Larry.
Heck yeah.
And it takes, he has something that he likes to do, I have something that I like to do, but then we do the tournaments together. And you've got to find something that you can do together to be happy. If you're off doing your thing and he's off doing his thing, then, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. And for Jamie, I was going to tell her that the Big Cat Quest does do a hourly tournament where as many people as you can put in that boat that is rated for, that the boat is rated for, you can come fish. And
awesome.
Jason will have to tell you about them. They're really fun.
That sounds great.
The Virginia tournament's going to be one. The other one will be out in Texas, Lake Fork, Texas. And but they are really fun tournaments to do. But so just because you're stepping back and you're still supporting your husband, you can come fish with him, a couple of times a year. And
that would be fun.
Since Miss Vicky is older, you can still fish in the boat. We 55 and over, you can fish, or a lady can fish as a third partner for $50 more. So, but
Awesome. Well,
I
thank
don't
you
know
for that
about
information.
if they do that or not. Amanda may, but that way you won't be stuck at home all the time.
Well, thank you, Miss Joyce. I appreciate it.
That's been brought up a time or two because you guys have the ladies' rule.
Yes. Does Cabela's offer that, Amanda?
No, they don't have the ladies' rule.
Oh. But they do have the over 65.
Yeah, that they do.
Vicky is over 65, so she could still fish in the boat with them as a third partner.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yep.
Sure can.
Sure enough. All right, Amanda.
Maybe one of these tournaments I'll get lucky and they'll let me come fishing with them.
I've got something for you about that in just a minute. All right, Amanda, have you got anybody that you'd like to say about or something that we missed that we should ask you about?
Well, I'd like to mention that I agree with Joyce. No matter what, you have to support your husband. You guys may not always agree, but I mean, it's no different with the fishing and the tournament trails and the time and the commitment. It's all about compromise. But I'm not the only person that supports Carl in this sport. I'd like to thank Fat Boys Custom Rods, for their support over the years. They've been great people to work with, not only with their product, but with their help and their support. I'd like to thank the two of you for having me on the show and giving Joyce, Jamie, and I the opportunities to kind of give you a little bit of an insight on what our perspectives are.
That's right. Thanks, Amanda.
Yes.
We've kind
Not always easy.
No, we've kind of looked into this and talked about it for some time, and I think it was a great show, and I've really enjoyed it. Jamie, do you have anything that you would like to visit about that we missed about Jason, or someone else that you like to talk about?
I think both the ladies summed it up earlier about supporting your husband and, the compromise and being there. And again, I'd also like to thank you and Chuck for inviting us on the show. I'd also like to thank another one of Jason's really good friends, Mr. John Becker. He's the owner of 111 Prop Shop. He's helped Jason out many a times in jams when he's out there on that river and something hits his prop and nicks it or bends it. And we've known John for many, many years, and he always, is right there for Jason to help him. He's got his prop shop down on 111 right outside Granite City. Real supportive fella. And then I just like to thank my kids too because they also sacrifice. It's not just me that sacrifices. They've sacrificed over the years supporting Dad in their tournaments and fishing. And only one out of the three really enjoys the fishing like me and Jason do, and that's Zachary. He in fact fished this summer with Jason and Vicky during the tournament series. But yeah, they understand, how much Dad loves it and what it means to him, and so they've had to give up time with Dad as well. But other than that, I mean, I think I agree. I think it was a really great show. I thank you again for having us on, and like to thank you also for sponsoring Jason, with his Black Horse rods. I mean, he always has one of those in the boat. But other than that, I think it pretty much sums it up. Oh, and go to Bobby's Frozen Custard.
Oh, yeah. I got to try that.
I'm definitely going to have to try that, Jamie.
Absolutely.
I don't work there or nothing.
I want to mention something to you ladies, and you may or may not know about this, but we used to run the Twisted Cat Outdoor Tournament Series, and we had a deal, and Alex is carrying it on. Alex is doing a really good job with those tournaments. And April the 24th on the Mississippi River in Canton, Missouri, is the yearly Jack and Jill tournament. Now, in the Twisted Cat tournaments, you're allowed 3 people to a boat. At any tournament, no age limit. So a lot of times there'll be 3 guys, or there'll be a couple of guys, their sons or daughters, or once in a while there'll be a wife. But the idea behind this tournament was to get more women and children involved in the sport. And in this tournament, you can have 3 people, but at least 1 man and 1 woman per boat. You can have a third person of either sex. It's a great deal of fun. If you guys get a chance to run up there, it's usually an added money tournament, and it's a lot of fun. It's not the big fish like they have in St. Louis on the Mississippi River, but some pretty nice fish caught up there usually, and it would be a great time for any of you that would like to attend that. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I know you all have busy schedules, and I'm quite sure that Jason and Larry and Carl have all got their years planned out sometime before now, but I just thought that, if you get a chance to run over there, it's a wonderful thing, and it's some of the greatest people in the world you'll ever meet at these catfish tournaments, as you all well know.
That would be Carl's birthday weekend, so maybe that'll be his birthday present that I get to fish that Jack and Jill tournament with him.
Well, it would
I'll have
be
to
a
check
lot
our
of fun.
schedule.
It's a lot of fun, and like I say, a great bunch of people that fish those tournaments, and you won't be disappointed in having a good time, I promise you. Chuck, have you got any closing statements?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody about the Alabama Catfish Trails having their first tournament of the year Saturday on Wheeler Lake. It's going to be launching out of Ingalls Harbor at 7 a.m. And for the guys that are pre-fishing for the Cabela's on the 19th, this would be a good time to get out and do a little bit of pre-fishing for that tournament also. The smaller local trails are, doing all they can do to have these little tournaments before the big ones.
So much for a free weekend. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah, so, we're going to have 2 in a row here on Wheeler, and then the Hill Jacks are having one on Lay Lake. I think it's on the 26th of March, and that is going to be the pre-fishing tournament for the Cabela's 2-day super event on Lay Lake on the 1st and 2nd of April. So these local trails are, pumping it up, bringing these small events, and trying to get more local guys into it to, change the perception around here in Alabama. We got so many bass tournaments on every boat ramp every weekend. There's hardly an available spot to park your boat. And catfishing just isn't where it should be down here. But everybody we get out and get them to try it, they're sticking with it. So we're just trying to get them guys out, get a good taste of it, and hopefully, we'll start building it up pretty good down here.
Heck yeah. Well, I wanted to remind everybody that Kansas City Catfish is having their opening tournament this weekend on Lake of the Ozarks. You guys can get in touch with Brad Kilpatrick or go to Kansas City Catfish website, and they can get all the information there. If you get a chance to go up there, the weather's supposed to be pretty good here this week, and the fish are probably doing well. I haven't been up there for a while, but it'd be a great time and always a good turnout at that tournament. And I want to mention that March 26th, Twisted Cat Outdoors, Lexington, Missouri, 7-3 tournament. Can't tell you anything about it other than this will be the first one that Alex has had up there. Should be a great time. Be a lot of folks in there from that area, plus the locals that'll drive over that normally fish the tournament, so it ought to be a really good time. Ladies, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming on the show and visiting with Chuck and I. It has been a really lot of fun having you on here. I hope that we was as courteous to you as you was to us. We tried. I was a little late with things running. Had to go to Columbia, take Cindy to the doctor today, and one thing led to another, and I was a little late getting home, and I'm sorry to put you guys on hold like that, but things do come up, and I plan on seeing each and every one of you at some time down the road at the tournaments. I know Amanda and Joyce, I'll be seeing you, and Jamie. One of these, Jason and Cindy and I are going to go out and go fishing again one of these days. We've done it once, and we didn't have a very good day, but we had a lot of fun. And the next time we come down, I hope that you get in the boat and join us.
I absolutely will. I'll make it a point to.
That'll be fine. So, ladies, thanks again for being on the show. And for Chuck Davison, I'm Lyle Stokes. Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly. Next week, we were supposed to have Jason Aycock on the show. Something come up with his baseball team that his son plays on, and he's had to cancel on us. But we're going to have the ladies on that do the surveys for the Illinois University. They're going to come on and tell us all about the studies that they do on what catfish eat, how they grow, how they tag them, all the studies, and they hope to have some results by next week. So it'll be a very interesting show. And these girls, 60, 70-pound fish, they pick them up, they do all the stuff, they measure them, tag them, take samples from them, and turn them, release them at tournaments all over the place. So it'll be a real interesting show. So we'll see you next Monday night. Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly.